Schedule 1 is a game about drugs, making them, selling them, and ruling the city with the money. Today, I asked the question, can I make $1 million without ever touching a single drug? This means no making them, no selling them. I can't even put them in my inventory. So can I find a way to build my empire anyways? Or is this game impossible without drugs? I had a list of 4 options to try, and it starts in my RV. I arrived to the town of Highland Point with one goal: make $1 million. I grabbed all of the inventory I could from the RV before heading out into the world to collect dead drops of cash my uncle left for me. I went to grab the final drop, feeling good about my start before getting a warm welcome from the neighbors. Rival drug cartel the Benzies would usually be my competition, but unbeknownst to them, I wasn't playing their game. I had bigger fish to fry, for I was flat broke. I had $382 to my name, even less after getting myself a place to stay at the motel, and after stealing all the furniture from the motel room and pawning it. I had $757 to turn into $1 million. So I got started on the first of my 4 strategies: picking up trash. The town of Highland Point was littered with trash, as well as conveniently placed recycling stations that would spit out money. It was time to obtain 0.1% of my goal, my first $1,000. With the little money I made, I reinvested into my trash business by filling my inventory with trash grabbers, and I set off to become the trash king of Highland Point. I spent days picking up trash, covering myself in filth for pennies on the dollar. But the money it was making me was not enough, so I turned to pickpocketing the locals. Turns out I was not that good at it, and it got me into a little bit of trouble. Climbing into dumpsters, beating people up, assaulting vending machines and ATMs, anything to get my money. And slowly, through my hard work, I crawled my way towards $1,000. The trash was too slow, and the pickpocketing was not going to make me $1 million. If I wanted to make it to my next checkpoint of $10,000, I would need to implement my second strategy. The casino is a place where you can play a plethora of risky games, 3 to be exact. This is where the rich get richer, and with my first 1,000, I was feeling pretty darn rich. I walked into the casino feeling confident and got to work. The casino was a place you could only visit at night, so I needed something to do in the meantime. So my routine was in the morning time, I would pick up trash and pickpocket people, and at night, I would take the money I'd earned to the casino. If you weren't aware, the casino can get risky. I played at all the tables and tried my luck time and time again. I won some, I lost some, I got hungrier and hungrier, for I was on a mission. Hours passed like this. I gambled more, and then a little bit more. And then the strangest thing happened. I lost my $1,000. If only somebody had told me that you could actually lose money at the casino, I never would have gone. I put my last $22 on black, and it flipped red. I went home that night feeling small, and the next morning I resumed my duties as the trash man of Highland Point, the lowest rung on the ladder of success. As I picked up trash, I made a little more money and thought I'd throw my hat in the ring one more time. With a quiet determination, I played this in a more calculated manner. I played the stats, I took fewer risks, and I found the slot machines. See, slot machines always seemed like a loser's game to me. I like to gamble like a real gambler on the blackjack table, but as I maxed out the bets and pulled all the levers, I started winning. 200, then 2,500. This was my slot machine renaissance. And then as soon as I felt like I started to flatline, the unexpected. A jackpot had given me everything that I had needed. I had now crossed the $10,000 line. 10,000 had me feeling fantastic, but was still only a portion of the way towards my goal, and I could not lose sight. I decided to pickpocket to pass the time when I saw something that changed the course of this playthrough.
You can take their guns?
That's right. My strategy to achieve $100,000 was to take down the Highland Point Police. According to the Schedule 1 wiki, these guns are worth $2,500. That means that even at the pawn shop, they could be up to $2,000 each. And oh yeah, about the pawn shop, this is Mick. Mick is the owner of the pawn shop, and even though he's a little rough around the edges sometimes, after a quick sleep, he's back to normal the next day. Mick would hopefully buy the guns that I would get from the police for a good price and make me my riches. Except, I had a problem. If you recall, I'm not that good at pickpocketing. I even tried on an officer one time, and it went about as well as you'd expect. On top of that, the chances of getting a gun from their pocket are slim. I needed a better way to do this, and it might involve getting my hands dirty. Openly brutalizing police officers wouldn't necessarily be an option because they always traveled in pairs, even though obviously I tried. But I knew a secret. Police didn't spawn randomly. They patrolled all spawning from the police station at once. If I could somehow stop them from leaving, maybe I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or many cops with 1 car. I did what I could to get the money I'd need to make my plan a reality. I went to the casino, scoured Highland Point, even delved into the sewers to see if I could find a little extra cash. While below the city, I found a man calling himself the Trash King, a title I thought I deserved as the rightful Trash King of Highland Point, so I turned him into dead. And I took the crown for myself. And to cement myself as king, I bought myself a chariot, aptly named the Bruiser. I painted the Bruiser green to symbolize the money that it would bring. I got to work immediately, getting a little carried away. Was it the right way? No. Was it fun? Very much so, and it got me my first pistol, so that's fine. Eventually, I did things the right way. I parked in front of the police station and used an exploit to launch myself onto the roof to see if it had worked. I did not expect to go that high, so while I was in the air, I had time to think. The jump from 10,000 to 100,000 intimidated me. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. As I aimed for the roof of the police station and thanked my lucky stars that this game did not have fall damage, I saw that it had worked. After hitting literally one shot from the entire first magazine, I finally got the hang of things, and I started killing police officers. One by one, I looted the bodies and put every single gun in my trunk. I even had to make 2 trips. And now, after taking them to Mick, it was time to see if my plan was worth it. Each of these guns, as I showed before, are worth $2,500 each. If I could even get $2,000 at the pawn shop for each one of them, I'd be $10,000 richer. The highest he offered me was $6,000. That is not worth it at all. I haggled him into $3,000. One of these is worth $2,500. The guns weren't working. The reality was that I needed a plan to make my $100,000, and I was clueless. Seemingly plateaued at my current net worth, I had a grudge against Mick. If I could somehow swindle him out of multiple thousands of dollars by buying high and selling higher, not only would I get a satisfying revenge, but I would also get my $100,000. Herbert Blueballs, the owner of Blueballs Boutique, sells a plethora of high-value goods. The one that caught my eye was the golden bars. These are the highest ticket item and they weren't limited in quantity like the golden toilet. This would be the perfect item for me to shoot for. The only problem was that Herbert was not like Mick. He was a nice man and this was a nice place, which means he only took card, no cash. The trash machines dealt in cash, the casino dealt in cash, Mick dealt in cash, I was all cash. Just put some in the ATM, you say. Well, the weekly deposit limit of an ATM is $10,000, and as each one of these gold bars cost $10,000, that would mean I would have to wait an entire week just to flip one bar. That was when I remembered a call from Uncle Nelson. Uncle Nelson told me that to avoid the ATM deposit limit, I'd need to launder some money with local businesses. So after speaking to Ray of Ray's Real Estate to see how much the businesses would actually cost, I got to making some money. Befriend police officers, take their guns, sell them to Mick, spend that money at the casino, rinse and repeat. This became my habit, and I watched the money go up until finally I could afford the laundromat. And I actually made so much money that I jumped up and got the post office at $10,000 instead of the laundromat, which laundered twice as much money. With this, I was able to put more of my liquid cash into my bank account and could finally buy my first gold bar. My first 2 gold bars, actually. And I took them straight to Mick. As I skated through the streets, I realized that this was my make or break moment in this run. If he lowballed me, just like he did with the guns, the entire run would be ruined. This would be the way that I would figure out, is making $1 million in Schedule 1 without selling any drugs possible? It was time for me to find out. But first, I kinda just started here. I'm still figuring out what works and what doesn't, so if you've liked what you've seen so far, please let me know. And hit the fucking button. Okay, back to the video. 2 gold bars in my inventory. If I could get Mick to pay more than they were worth, then this could be my $1 million ticket. If that little number said more than 20,000, I'd be in. We fucking did it. 36,000 for 2 gold bars means at least an $8,000 profit on a single gold bar, best case scenario. So we could aim safely for around $5,000 to $7,000 in profit per gold bar. I had to spend a couple days haggling with Mick, but oh baby, once I did. Holy fuck, he agreed. A $10,100 profit on each gold bar. We were fucking in. I slowly progressed, buying more and more businesses to have more and more money in my bank account. I both laundered money and used ATMs to get up to $30,000 each time, buying gold bars with the extra money I had coming in. I couldn't even remember my old life at this point. The Trash King was a moniker that was part of the past. Casino jackpots, which at one point thrilled me. Even the exciting gun heists paled in comparison to the $50,000 flips. The rate of play was slow now. All I could do was AFK as I waited for the next day, anxiously awaiting the arrival of the money into my bank account. As the days passed, I reflected on who exactly it was that I had become. I came to Highland Point with the intention of making $1 million, while making Highland Point a better place by not dealing drugs. But in the process, I'd stolen, I'd thieved, and I'd killed. I'd killed hundreds, stolen from the innocent, dethroned kings, and ruined the local economy. This, however, was the price to pay. If I wanted my million, I'd have to turn into someone else. I watched 10,000 become 100,000, then 300,000, and then 6. More and more as the days ran together under gray skies, my eyes were green with greed as the world became colorless. I went to Mick for what would be the last time. One last flip. 60 gold bars. So if you're ever playing Schedule 1 with your friends and you find yourself asking, could I make all of this money without dealing any drugs? The answer is yes. Just look out for who you might become along the way. Holy fuck, we did it. If you somehow made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Oh my god, that was loud. Thank you so much for watching. I'm still learning the editing stuff, so if you liked something, if you hated something, please, for the love of God, leave a comment and talk shit, because it helps, it really does. Okay, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.